Hello and welcome back to the channel. Show you what we've been up to and what we've got accomplished since our last video. As you can see, I worked on the headlights some. We got these headlight washers or rings, whatever you want to call them, gaskets. We got those all cleaned up. I used some steel wool and soap and water and the Eastwood rubber restorer, so they turned out really good. They look like new. Went ahead and started putting the headlights back together. Had to clean those up. I actually, they were so rusted up that to get these beauty rings off, I had to break the bulbs, the old bulbs, which I think they were bad anyway. Pretty sure they were bad. They never worked. So I had to break those out to get the rings out. They cleaned up nice. I used chrome polish and fine steel wool. So we're good there. I had bought the buckets a long time ago. And you can see in here, those are new. I went ahead, because they've been in storage for a long time, so I went ahead and cleaned them up. And I painted them and everything so they look good. The inside adjustment ring there, I put new hardware in them, cleaned those up, painted them. And then these outside retaining rings here, these are new. These are from Midwest Bayless. They had a set. The ones that were in there were very rusted, and as you can see, they're chrome. They were too rusted to reuse, so we went ahead and replaced those. So those are pretty much ready to go. I went ahead and got the bulbs too at the same time, so everything that's needed for the headlights to be reassembled is there. As you can see, we got the car up, and we got the leaf spring attached. That's in place now. That's about as far as I could get. I did get the control arms, I don't know if you can see it in this light, back on. But there's where we got stopped. We ran into some problems, mainly with the brake lines, because I didn't want to put any of the suspension together, the shocks and the idler arm and all that, and the gearbox, until I got those brake lines run. Well, it's been a nightmare. I mean, that has been nothing but a fight. I did finally manage to get, let's see if I can get you a shot of it here, the master cylinder lines attached that run over to the failure switch over on the passenger side, but I could not do it with the master cylinder attached to the brake pedal assembly. I had to take that back off because I had to be able to move that thing around because it's so hard to work in there. It's just a nightmare. And that's using the original lines, which already had the proper bends and everything. I don't know how in the world they got that thing in there. Those must be factory made or something. Well, I'm sure they are. But to get those lines bent the way they were. I did get the driver's side brake line run, but that's where I wanted to talk about something for a minute. If you recall from the last video, I had bought a brake line piping kit. Well, I wholeheartedly recommend that you don't do that. None of the lines are of the exact length that you're going to need, and because the flares are already on them, you're either way short of where they need to go, or they're way too long and you can't bend them to the proper angle. I even tried buying a union so that possibly I could put two of them together, and that wasn't, no way that was going to work either. For one thing, there's 9 brake lines that are on this car, and the kit only comes with 7. So I'm not sure what that's about. But so right there, it's kind of useless. The other thing is they are steel brake lines. They're very hard to bend. Now, if you're making a nice 90, a gentle bend or something like that, I used a piece of pipe here to do it, and I can get some bends like this. Okay, that was no big deal. But the thing about it is, there are no bends like that on this car. They're all very complex and they're all very tight. And when you start talking about a bend that's like an inch or so, you really need to be able to. And I even bought a brake bending tool and couldn't get it. The lengths are not there. I'm not sure how they measured that. They don't mark them, so you don't know which. You're just kind of like, well, that looks like it ought to fit. That looks like the proper length, but then it's not. So what I've done is I ordered the brake flaring tool from Midwest Bayless to get the proper bubble flare that you need for these, and then I have ordered a 25-foot roll of the copper nickel brake line tubing, which is supposed to be far superior to the steel anyway. It's supposed to be much easier to bend, much easier to work with. You can make tighter bends with it easily by hand, and it will hold up and last. It won't rust. So that's the way I'm going with that. Should have done that to begin with, and that's what I recommend. I'll let you know on the next video how it works out. I'm waiting on those things right now. This is not copper tubing like you would buy at Home Depot. This is specific for brake lines. So enough on that. And as you can see, I've also worked on the windshield wiper assembly. Put that back together, got all the bolts and nuts and everything that's supposed to go for that, and the latch mechanism for the trunk. That's in, but I haven't actually attached the wiper assembly at this point. I just wanted to pretty much get it into place to make sure where it's going to go and fit and everything. So we've also went ahead and got our wheel hubs, our new bearings put in, and they're packed and ready to go. It's got new seals, new bearings on both sides. I think the rear side has to be pressed in and pressed out, so our press came in very handy. The other thing that we've been working on is a little bit of interior stuff. Maybe I got ahead of myself a little bit, but I got held up on this brake stuff, so I started doing some other things. And as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and start making the interior pieces for the back panel here. And basically what I did was I made cardboard templates and then cut it out on this like I don't know what that is, maybe a 1/8 of an inch masonite board or whatever they call it. You can see I got the speaker cutouts, and so that's going pretty good. This piece down here though, this is not going to work. It doesn't come over far enough. It should come all the way over to the door, and it won't. And also it doesn't bend easy enough. So I think what I'm going to do is try to get a piece of Luan, like flooring, and then that'll have the padding on it and everything. I have the vinyl. I have the original vinyl. I bought it out of England. It's the exact same as this. I have a huge roll of it, so I'll be able to do all that. And then you can see where I've got the speaker cutouts and roughly where they're going to be placed. These 6x9s will be in the on the back panel there. So on the interior, there's another issue I wanted to bring up. Back in December, I ordered out of Germany the door cards, the door panels. Very nice, at least in the pictures. And because I can't make those, I can't do that. These straight flat panels, I can do that. And the problem with it is, to this day, I've not received them, and they were not cheap. And I've been in contact with the company several times. They continue to promise me that I will get them. They finally admitted that they'd had all kinds of problems with their web shop. That's and it's kind of disheartening because I've ordered from all over Europe, the Netherlands, Germany, England, never had a problem, got my parts within a week, 10 days or whatever. So this has really been bad. And at this point, really, I'm holding out little hope that I'm actually going to get my door cards. And I don't really know. I filed a complaint with PayPal, and I got some of the shipping costs back, but that was it. And so I don't want to name the company, but if I don't get them back, I will name the company, and that way it'll save you guys if anybody, because it looks like they have nice products, but if you don't get them, they just keep your money, then what good does it do you? I've also been trying to, I had some of the weather stripping that goes on, but I'm not 100%. I bought them a long time ago, and it's not obvious which strip goes where. As you can see on the one that's on there, it seems to fit. It fits nicely into the channel, but it's too long. Is it supposed to be cut? I don't know. So that's something else we're dealing with. And I have worked a little bit on some other parts, just, you know, when I get held up or have a bad day or whatever. I cleaned up the voltage regulator and got that painted and hung, and, you know, some of the brackets and things like that. So I think that relay up there, I think that goes in the, you know, I cleaned that up and painted it. And I think that goes in the engine compartment. But I'm not sure what it's for. I'll have to wait until we go to do the wiring. So anyway, that's where we are. And just wanted to give you an update. If you have any comments or questions, you know, love to hear them. I do appreciate you watching. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. So, you know, like I said before, I'm not a pro at this. This is all, you know, learning on the go. I think we are going to have to get the rear of the car up, and so that I can complete the front end and everything, and get the trolley out from underneath it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to rig up a hoist from the ceiling that I can suspend under the car and pull the entire car up and get that thing out. Especially when I go to do the rear control arms and everything, and the drums, the car's going to have to be up. So anyway, thanks for watching, and you know, comment, got any questions, and we'll see you next time.